100%.
Well, anyways, so that's going on. We had the AHL All-Star game last week on Monday, and Wednesday they announced officially about the AHL Pacific Division. It is official now. Manchester, Norfolk, and Glens Falls. Manchester, Norfolk, Glens Falls, and Oklahoma City and Worcester are all losing their teams, moving out to Bakersfield, Stockton, San Diego, San Jose. That's the weird one. The Worcester Sharks are going to play in the SAP
Doesn't make any
Center
sense if you ask
with
me.
the Sharks. And now here's the really weird part. So they did announce that the AHL schedule is not going to shrink from 76 games. So which is good for the fans. They're going to stay 38 home games, 38 away games. Rochester 37 home games because they always give one to Buffalo. But this new Pacific Division with 5 teams for next year, they are not going to play 76 games. They're going to play less. They haven't figured out exactly how many yet. They're going to play either 72 or 68 or 66 or 64 or maybe even 60 games.
How? Oh,
Wait a minute, they're going to be in the same league,
Same
division,
league,
whatever.
they're going
not
to
just
play less games than the rest of the league.
How's that going to affect the point standings?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking myself.
Well, I think that's a good point. They're probably going to have to. Actually, I don't know. I didn't even think about that. They'll probably have to go back to a divisionally based.
Yeah, but once you get
system.
out of your division, then what? If you're
Well, in the playoffs, so maybe they'll go back to like right now. There's 6 divisions, 2 conferences. The top 8 out of 15 teams in each conference make the playoffs, so it's pretty balanced. So you think maybe if they want to keep it at 8, and there's still at 3 divisions, they'll probably do maybe top 2 teams from each division, and then maybe 2 wildcard teams, something like that.
right, but like if their points say they only have the 60 or whatever games,
Yeah.
so their points it depends.
Maybe they'll do points percentage. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, which of the cities you think will bounce back and maybe get a team or maybe?
Well, good news for some of the cities that lost their teams. Manchester is getting an ECHL team. Norfolk is getting an ECHL team. And Glens Falls, home of the Adirondack Flames currently, is getting an ECHL team.
That's good
And
news.
that's great.
That's
Glens
good
Falls
news.
is a great hockey city. They
Yeah.
love hardcore fans up there. They love hockey. Same with Manchester. Great hockey city. So they're all getting ECHL teams. So
Worcester's still
Worcester
hockeyless?
is up in the air. Worcester may be hockeyless next year. Oklahoma City may be hockeyless next year. Oklahoma City wasn't drawing very well. Worcester not drawing very well either, but Worcester is more of a traditional hockey city, so
Yeah,
it'd be
Oklahoma
nice to
City
see them
drew
get.
horribly.
Yeah, they did not draw very well over there.
I don't think they'll miss the team.
They actually drew. Oh, I was thinking of Omaha. Omaha would be a great place for
The
an AHL
Oxerben
team.
Knights. Or
They
what?
had the Omaha Oxerben,
Yeah,
which was Nebraska spelled backwards, which is weird. But
Yeah.
no, the Omaha Lancers of the USHL. It's a
Juniors?
junior team. They draw like 9,000 fans a game. So that'd be a great place for an AHL team. I don't think it's going to happen because now all the teams
I
are
think
moving
Worcester
out
would
to
be a
California.
good place for a junior team. They tried that in Maine. They had the Lewiston
I hope
Maniacs.
Worcester gets an ECHL team. You know,
Do you
I think
they
they're
will?
bad. Or it's not a bad idea though. A Quebec League team in Worcester. It's not
just
that far.
just like because Maine had the Lewiston Maniacs in the
do they
Quebec
not
League.
have them anymore?
The Maniacs moved to Sherbrooke and then folded, I believe.
Oh.
But yeah, the Maniacs did all right, and I think if you put a team in Worcester, I think it'd do fine.
And that's another team that's in jeopardy is the Portland Pirates.
Yeah, they've been in jeopardy for a few years now.
Because their affiliate is Phoenix. And Phoenix doesn't like the idea. They're going to say, oh, now look at Anaheim and San Jose and L.A. They have their prospects, an hour away. We still have ours 3,000 miles away. So I did a lot of reading on this. The whole reason this whole thing came about was because the West Coast NHL teams were sick of having to carry an extra player because it would be too expensive and not too expensive. It would be too time consuming to fly a player across the country when they're affiliates on the East Coast. So like Rochester, Buffalo, if the Sabres need a player,
works out great.
they call up a guy from Rochester, they're right down the road.
Right.
So this way they can carry the minimum number of players. Every extra player they have to carry, it costs them a lot of money in salary. So these West Coast teams were spending at least $1 million more per year than the East Coast teams simply because they had to carry at least one extra player because they were on the West Coast and their AHL team was on the East Coast. So this is exactly why this came about. And what happened was they apparently basically told the AHL, listen, we need this Pacific Division. If you guys aren't going to do it, we're going to start our own league. our own AAA league. So they threatened to start their own league, the West Coast teams, that would be a AAA league just like the AHL, but a different league. And the AHL said, okay, we'll get it done. And that's why they're going to allow them to not even play the full schedule. So basically, the NHL is running this show. The NHL now owns all 5 of those teams that are going to be playing in California. So whatever the NHL wants to do, they're going to do. So, it's not the greatest thing for the integrity of the AHL as far as, the Calder Cup going. To see a team that only played 60 games potentially win the Calder Cup maybe, as opposed to everyone else played 76. Now that's going to be a huge advantage. Hockey is a grueling sport. If you're playing 16 less games, like we were talking about this last week, it's going to be a huge advantage.
Well, absolutely. I mean, every time you play, if you play 72 games compared to 60 games, the guy that's playing 60 games, they have more recovery time.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge.
I think the big thing that will keep this from not being an issue is the fact that it is a second tier league, and that they believe that it monetarily benefits them. I think they're going to keep it from becoming an issue. Though for those of us in places like Rochester, where this is our top thing, I think it'd be more of an issue here to us.
Oh yeah, here it'd be a problem. Yeah. I think out there,
I don't think so.
And the fans are used to the ECHL, which they only play 72 games anyway, so if they play 64, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I hope they play more than 60. That would probably be, they would just play every other team 15 times, which is kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? But anyways, either way, they're probably going to play each of the other teams 15 times. And then if they add a couple games to schedule, they might have, some of the teams in Texas come. There's no way Rochester or Syracuse is going to go over there. The good news for the Amherst, because of this, is that the Amherst are going to move to the Eastern Conference, finally.
So we're going to see the Portland
So we're going to see
Pirates.
Portland. We're going to see St. John's. We're going to see Wilkes-Barre Scranton. We're going to see Lehigh Valley, teams we haven't really seen. So it's going to be a little bit different. Now, we might not see Chicago as much. We might not see San Antonio or Texas as much. But
the key is as much. You don't want to see everybody so much.
No.
It's nice to spread it out a little bit.
Speaking of the
like
schedule,
Hamilton, I saw way too much Hamilton.
Before we get to this about the schedule, very interesting. Our friend Kevin Aklubja on his blog Hockey Ozone, which is a great blog, he wrote today about how players that are going to be playing in California are going to be paying at least an extra $6,000 a year in taxes because the taxes are so high in California. So he said the average AHL salary right now is, anyone want to guess?
Average?
Yeah.
50.
50?
I would have guessed like 45, 50.
85,000.
Really?
So,
average?
Yeah, average AHL salary.
Okay.
The minimum AHL salary is 43,000. So not bad.
Okay.
They're not making bad money.
That's what I thought the question was.
But actually, you would have been right.
So
yeah.
85. Okay, that's not a bad salary.
It's actually a really good salary if you look at that compared to some of the, like the Rhinos or
it's much better.
Yeah, I mean those guys. I mean, you play 10 years, you make $850,000.
So because of the taxes, they're gonna be paying at least $6,000 more than playing anywhere else in the country because the taxes are so high in California. Yeah. So he's talking about how players, it's gonna be they'll be playing less games, which is great, but they're going to make a little less money. So it's going to be something the players are going to have to figure out for themselves. Speaking of the schedule, the Rhinos released their schedule today, as the entire USL did. The USL season is going to start this year March 21st. So much earlier than ever before.
Right around the corner.
Rhinos will open up their season way earlier than they ever have. March 28th to Saturday, 2 p.m. at the New York Red Bulls. Of course, the USL team, and they'll play at Red Bull Arena. The home opener will be Sunday, April 26th, 2:05 versus those same Red Bulls, and they'll be playing 28 regular season games. Anyone want to venture to guess who they're going to be playing? There's 2 teams. Of course, they're only going to be playing half the league, which I think sucks, but there's 2 teams that they're going to be playing more than anyone else. Anyone want to venture to guess? And
Montreal and Toronto.
Yeah, perfect. Montreal and Toronto, they'll be playing 4 times each. They'll be playing the Red Bulls, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 3 times each, and then everyone else in the conference twice, which would be Charleston, Charlotte, Harrisburg, Louisville, Richmond, St. Louis, and Wilmington. The Rhinos will not see Arizona United, Austin Aztecs, Colorado Springs, LA
FC
Galaxy,
Sacramento.
Dos, Oklahoma City Energy, Orange County Blues and Andrew Hoxie, Portland Timbers 2, Real Monarchs, Sacramento Republic, Seattle Sounders 2, Tulsa Roughnecks, and the Vancouver Whitecaps 2. They will not see 14 teams.
Wow.
So I can't stand the schedule.
No. Wow.
You know, you got 28. You only got 28 games to play. Why do you need to play Montreal and Toronto 4 times each? I mean, yeah, I get it. Montreal and Toronto are exciting to see.
Well, I think it's also cost effective.
It is.
Too.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're trying to save money.
I mean, it's tough. You know, I mean, like I said, you know, it's not like the Amerks. You know, the Amerks obviously the guy's average, you know, was 85,000.
But even the AHL has the same problem. The Amerks only play half of the league.
Well, I agree, but I mean,
it's just a problem in minor league sports.
But I'm just saying, in general, those guys don't make a lot, and you know, I mean,
what do you think the average USL salary is, from what you've heard?
Geez, you know, I really don't know. I don't. I know that
I wouldn't even know where to start guessing.
I know back in the day that
50 maybe. You got to think it's like 40.
No, it's even lower than that. I bet you it's maybe mid 20s. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I just know that I know that Johnny Steele, when I think he played with, I believe it was Montreal. I think when he played with Montreal, I heard he was the highest paid player in the league, and it was like 90 grand.
Okay.
I mean, so that, like I said, you're saying average of 85,000 for the AHL, and there's 90 grand just one player.
Top.
So just imagine your average, but that's a lot of money for a USL player. I think. I think, like I said, I think most of your guys you're going to see are in the 20s.
Okay. Yeah,
Wow.
Obviously, I think actually out of any minor league sports that we have in town, I would venture to guess that the Red Wings would make the most, because
probably.
I think the average AAA salary is over 100. I think.
So you're telling me the
baseball,
Red Wings
probably.
make more than the
I
Amerks,
would guess.
Now, and here's the other factor. In baseball and in hockey, minor league players do get signing bonuses. Baseball, I think it's higher than hockey, because I know from personally talking to some players that a lot of them are millionaires by the time they get to AAA, because they got $1 million signing bonus, or $2 million, or
Plus,
$500,000.
baseball is more steadily attended by people too. There's more money invested in baseball.
There's more money in general in the game of baseball than hockey. A little bit more. I mean, if you want to look at them, obviously, you know, football.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If there was a minor league football team here, like, you know, if there was a minor league
obviously
football team, it'd be a lot of money.
No,
It's football. This is football.
Minor league football, they don't make.
No, if there was like a AAA system to football,
but there isn't. Yeah, the AAA system
it'd probably
for football
be a lot.
is college football.
I mean,
it's brilliant, and they don't get paid.
Yeah, well, they kind of do.
Well,
they get kickbacks.
But didn't we used to have, what was it, the Batavia? Didn't they used to have a football team? Didn't they used to have a football team, like a minor league football team or something?
Batavia?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm lost. So. What do I know?
Well, there was a minor league football. There is minor league football teams here, but they're like very minor league. It's not like out in Texas
Raiders,
where they have
the Raiders. What was remember when we were reviewing how the Raiders folded, and what was what was the quote? You were sold a lemon. Sorry.
It's not my fault you were sold. It was said incorrect, spelled incorrect. It's not my fault you were sold a lemon.
I'd love to. Can you try to find that by any chance on Facebook?
I don't even know how I found it.
I found it, but maybe go to Google and just search Rochester Raiders fold. I don't know. It's a long shot, but it was very funny. Yeah, minor league football is not a very lucrative business. If you're playing in the Arena Football League, I think they make decent salaries. You know, like that's the league that Kurt Warner played in. You know, back in the day. So I think they might do all right. But I
can't remember. Someone was just talking about something. I think a guy was kicking for them, and I guess he was making a pretty good money in the Arena Football League.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I think somebody that's actually maybe in the MASL, a player that played Arena Football. I guess he was making some pretty decent money as a kicker there. So.
Speaking of the Rhinos, John McCarthy. You met him?
I have not met him. Obviously I've seen him play a million times.
He's a great goalie. Goalie of the year and rookie of the year in the USL last year. He's trying out for the Philadelphia Union.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So, I mean, good luck to him. Obviously, we'd love to have him back in Rochester.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, even if he tries out for them, I mean, he makes the team. He's going to have to go through some loopholes to get him from Rochester because he's still under contract.
I think they said, though, that they would let him go.
They said they would work with him.
Yeah, they would work with him, which means they're going to have to get a good lump of change for him.
Oh, they got to get some money. Which makes sense.
Absolutely.
You got it. Yeah.
Absolutely. But again, here you go again. You got a great goalkeeper, in John, and And the last thing you want to do is lose that guy because that guy's bringing in the fans.
And then I don't know who they'd have to find a new